In this video, I cover a $300 console killer powered by an AMD Ryzen APU. This PC can max out eSports games at 1080p and it can also play the latest titles as well. Without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. So hey guys, this is TeamOverclocked back at it with another video. In today's video, I show you a $300 gaming PC. This can play games like Far Cry 5 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey at 720p medium settings with around 30 to 40 FPS. In esports titles like League of Legends, it can max it out at 1080p with above 60 FPS, which is a very nice experience. So with that out of the way, let's get right into the PC itself. To start it off, for the APU, I went with the AMD Ryzen 3 2200G for $87. This is a quad-core APU that comes clocked at 3.5 GHz with a boost clock of 3.7 GHz. Now this is an unlocked CPU, which means that you will be able to overclock it, which is really nice because at this price point, you really want to get as much performance as you can, simply because even like a mild 5 to 10% overclock can mean the difference between a playable and unplayable experience. Now I'll be completely honest, this is not going to be able to play the latest titles at 1080p at high or even medium settings, but it can definitely play those latest games as long as you're willing to turn down the settings. Now where this really shines is for esports gamers, because for the price of basically an RX 560, you're getting a quad-core CPU and a Vega 8 GPU, and honestly, it's really hard to find a better deal than this, new or used. For the motherboard, I went with the ASRock B450M HDV for $65. This is a micro ATX motherboard that comes with 2 RAM slots, 4 SATA ports, and an M.2 slot. It also has the B450 chipset, which is going to allow you to overclock this APU, which is a really nice feature to have. This motherboard leaves room for upgrades because it can fit a GPU and it can also support up to a Ryzen 7, so you're looking at a really good motherboard that can handle some future upgrades. Now for the RAM, I decided to go with the Team T-Force 8GB set for $40. This is a 2x4GB set clocked at 3000 MHz. APUs really like multi-channel and high-frequency RAM because the GPU part of the APU doesn't have its own dedicated VRAM. This is why it's important to get something that's very fast and multi-channel like this kit. If you have a little bit extra to spend, I would recommend a 16GB set, which I will link below, which is going to cost roughly $20 more. But even then, if you decide to go with the 8GB capacity, you will still have something that will get the job done and it won't really limit you when it comes to gaming. For the storage, I went with the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB for $43. This is a 7200 RPM hard drive that comes with 64 MB of cache. Now this is a pretty standard hard drive. All it's going to do is store your games, movies, media files, your operating system, and with this 1TB capacity, it should be able to do that without an issue. Now if you ever need more storage, you can always add in another hard drive, which is something that's nice about PC building in general. Now for the case, I decided to go with the Roseville FBM06 for $20. This is a micro ATX case that comes with 4 drive bays. On the front panel, we get some USB 3 and 2 ports, audio jacks, and a power and reset button. Now while this isn't the biggest case out there, especially since it's micro ATX, it will be able to support most GPUs, especially mid-range ones like the RX 570 and GTX 1050 Ti. So while this is a budget case, which we can see by the fact that it doesn't have a side panel window or a PSU shroud, it still gets a job done and it comes in at a $20 price point, which is really hard to beat. Last but not least, for the power supply, I went with the 500 watt Seasonic power supply for $43. Now this is a nice power supply that comes with an 80+ bronze rating. Now this isn't modular, but at this budget, I don't think that's a big issue. Now this PSU has 2 8-pins, so most GPUs will be fine with this PSU. The 500 watt capacity might seem overkill in this build, but with that capacity, you have a lot of room for upgrades for both your CPU and GPU, and since this is a reliable unit, it'll probably last you many years to come. So I think it's a great buy at this price point. Before we end the video, I would like to quickly mention I have links to everything I've mentioned in the description, so check that out if you're interested. But yeah guys, that's all for today. If you liked the video, please be sure to hit the like button. If you didn't like it, please dislike this video and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.